That's fantastic. From a training perspective, I wonder, given universities offer training, you have training academies, but then you have the whole industry of training, whether it's SANS or any other company that offers certs and all of that. How do law enforcement agencies figure out who to go to? How should you pick what your trainer is going to be? I know that's a complicated question, but it's one of those
Yeah.
things where we're running into that too, is agencies have so many options. How do we know which one is the one to go with?
Yeah, I think it comes down to first the agency's got to think about their mission, right? If you're federal, your FBI, your Secret Service, you're doing ransomware and large intrusion investigations, that the different like SANS certifications and stuff probably are good for you, or as well as say that CISA training I mentioned, where you're learning about endpoints and collecting data off of the different devices on networks and putting all that together with logs, right? If you're a local PD, and you have two people that are going to do cyber for you, whatever that may be, then you got to look at, okay, well, we need some basic forensics training and maybe a little bit of the social media and how people interact on it and how to get that evidence off of those devices, because that's really what they're dealing with. And so it starts with the mission, and then from that mission, they can really tailor their focus on the training they need. And there are some resources out there for the local PDs in those incidents, whether it's the National White Collar Crime Center. Obviously, the Secret Service has the center down in Hoover, Alabama, that they'll send task force officers to. But then, if you're a bigger agency and you're getting more involved, where you got to say a drug task force, violent crime task force, and you're really starting to get into, you need to get a line, identify people and stuff like that, then you're kind of in that gray area where some of that advanced training might help. Or it's kind of OJT as well, because there is not a lot of focused law enforcement training in those areas. It's either commercial cybersecurity type training or digital forensics. There's not a lot of the cybercrime specific for investigators. I think that's where we can fill that gap in academia, because we have enough people now with the background, and we can kind of tailor professional education training for law enforcement in cybercrime, because outside of Federal Law Enforcement Training Center or the FBI Academy, there's not a lot of places doing that. And so I think we can fill that gap, especially for the state and locals.